I get it, you're staring at the list of tankless water heaters and wondering if any of them are actually worth the money, or if you're just going to end up with another expensive gadget that sits idle most of the time. You don't want to spend a few $100s on a unit that can't keep up with your family's morning rush, and you certainly don't want to shell out even more on a botched installation that leaves you with cold showers. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's dig into the Rinnai RX199iN and see if it lives up to the hype or if it's just another shiny piece of hardware. First off, the biggest promise Rinnai makes is never run out of hot water, and that's not just marketing fluff. The RX199iN is a condensing gas water heater, which means it extracts more heat from the gas fuel than a traditional non-condensing unit. In real life, that translates to a hotter water stream for the same amount of gas, and because it's tankless, you're not paying for a big tank of water sitting idle, losing heat 24/7. For a household that showers back-to-back, runs a dishwasher while the kids are doing a load of laundry, and maybe even has a tub filling for a weekend soak, that constant supply can be a game-changer. I've seen families with 3 or 4 kids hit the faucet at the same time and still get a solid temperature, something that would leave a standard tank either empty or throttled down. What really sets the RX199iN apart is the Smart Sense technology. It has flow sensors that adjust the burner output on the fly, so when you turn on a low-flow shower it doesn't overfire, and when you crank up 2 showers plus a dishwasher it ramps up just enough to keep the water temperature stable. In practical terms, that means you're not constantly fiddling with the temperature knob or getting that dreaded cold blast when you add another fixture. The system also has a built-in diagnostic that can alert you via the optional Rinnai app if there's a blockage or a venting issue. That level of self-monitoring is useful for anyone who isn't a plumber but still wants peace of mind that the unit is operating efficiently. Now, before you start picturing a DIY weekend project, there's a very real consideration: professional installation is strongly recommended. The RX199iN needs a gas line that can handle the burner's demand, and it also requires venting that can exhaust the condensation byproduct safely. If you live in a home that already has a gas line sized for a larger furnace or a previous water heater, the retrofit is fairly straightforward. But in many older homes, you might need to upgrade the gas pipe or add a new vent, which can add a few $100s to the overall cost. That upfront expense is something to weigh against the long-term fuel savings. In my experience, people who are comfortable paying a professional to get it right the first time end up with a smoother experience, while those hoping to save by doing it themselves sometimes run into code issues or performance hiccups. Speaking of cost, the unit's price tag is higher than a basic tankless model, but the 4.6-star rating from 163 reviewers suggests that owners feel the investment pays off. Most of the positive sentiment online points to the consistent hot water and the lower gas bills after the first year. Those savings become more noticeable in colder climates where you're drawing more hot water for longer showers, or where you have a large family that uses multiple fixtures at once. If you're the type of person who checks the monthly utility statement and likes to see a drop after a new appliance, the condensing technology here can shave a decent percentage off your gas usage compared to a standard tank. On the flip side, there are practical limitations. Because it's a gas-powered unit, you need to have a reliable gas supply. If you're in a region where natural gas isn't available, you'd have to switch to propane, which can be more expensive and requires a separate tank. The RX199iN also has a minimum flow requirement, roughly a half gallon per minute, to activate the burner. That means if you open a very low-flow faucet, the water might come out a bit lukewarm until the flow reaches the activation threshold. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's something to be aware of if you enjoy those gentle, low-flow taps for plants or delicate cleaning. Who should definitely consider the RX199iN? If you're a homeowner with a medium to large family, especially one that likes to run several hot water appliances at the same time, this unit will likely meet your needs. If you have limited space, say a small utility closet or a cramped basement, its compact footprint is a win over a bulky tank that takes up precious floor space. And if you're already paying for gas and want to make that expense stretch further, the condensing design will give you a better return on the energy you buy.